Well, hey guys, welcome to this Conquering Fibromyalgia Masterclass. I am excited you're here. I'm Dr. Dan Sullivan, and I'm just going to jump right in. On one end is this: I'm excited you're here. Right? I'm excited that you're going to get to hear this information. On the other end, I'm sorry. Right? I'm sorry that you're suffering, and so obviously you're here for a reason, and I want to give you some valuable information and really go through this advanced training with you to give you some strategies to begin conquering your fibromyalgia pain. And so I first have to make an admission, and I gotta be honest with this. And really, why any of this really started for me was that I have dealt with a lot of fibromyalgia patients, and I've helped a lot of them now on this side of things. I've really helped a lot of them, but I'll be honest and tell you very transparent here. In the first 12 years in clinical practice, treating and trying to help patients dealing with fibromyalgia, and I could say this, I really failed them, right? And you could see that there, I failed my fibromyalgia patients because for the first 12 years, I did not understand the extent of their suffering, the course of their condition, and really the full scope of what fibromyalgia does. And then the strategies that it requires to overcome. And so that's what I want to share with you today, and why I want to make sure you understand that, one, you're not alone. Two, there is hope. And I know that you're sitting out there, and I'm going to get through this and really go dive in somewhat deep. But I can relate. I can understand. I do understand the fact that you have been dealing with this thing that a lot of people don't understand, right? And probably the only people that you can relate to now are the other sufferers, the ones that are suffering with you, because even family members are probably, have told you it's either in your head or you're a hypochondriac, or you're just because you have good days, right? There are good days with this condition, and it makes the people around you think, well, how can you have a good day and then 90% of your other days you're laying in bed, or you constantly need to rest, or you can't do activities and the things that you used to do. And so I'm going to tell you again, I can relate. I understand. And I understand now on this side of things because I didn't before. And so that's where I've really dived in, and for me, really want to give back and give you some things that can help you, again, turn the tides on this condition and give you some relief. So stay with me to the end. I've got something cool at the end. I want to give you a couple things. One is this $39 fibromyalgia flare-up guide I've created and spent a lot of time making this. We've had some amazing results with this alone. Some of you are at the place where a flare-up isn't just a few hours anymore, right? It may have started like that, but now a flare-up is days. And so this is a flare-up guide, and this is going to walk you through. There are strategies that I lay out for you that can help you overcome these flare-ups. Again, not based on my opinion, but based on the results that we get, and based on the research, based on what the science now says. I have to tell you, a lot of doctors, I was one of them, caring, loving, wanted to help my patients. I didn't get it. And there's a lot of doctors you've probably sat with and sought help from that didn't get it. And so they just don't understand this. So when I say flare-up guide, it's not just, again, my opinions here. These are based on the best evidence that we have, the best science and research, but just it's time-tested and people-tested, research or results-oriented. And so I want to give you that guide. Stick with the end. If you get to the end, I want to make sure, again, I'm going to go through some content. I'm going to go over some advanced strategies, but I want to make sure you stick with me all the way to the end, because that's when I walk you through and make sure that I can deliver on my promise, which just give you some strategies. So, and then I also have a guide to eating out with fibromyalgia. This is another thing that I threw in there, something that my patients see a lot of value with, because inflammation is one thing, and I know that you've probably tried diets, and that's not what this is about. This is not just about, hey, here's a supplement, here's an essential oil, here's some alternative therapies. That's not what this is about. We have to understand, and again, I hope I'm coming across. My heart just bleeds for you, right? My heart now that I really feel I need to give back to my fibro patients and fibromyalgia sufferers across the world. Right? No doctors are talking about this stuff. And so my heart goes out to you and to tell you that there is something different, and that's what we're going to go over is what are the differences today? Why? And here you can see there on this training, you're going to learn why fibromyalgia suffers, why you, suffering from fibromyalgia, why you have been neglected by a lot of healthcare providers. It's not because the provider is not, is a bad guy or bad gal, or not because they're not smart. It's because if they haven't looked at the data and the evidence and seen what it requires to address this, they're not addressing it. So we'll go through that. The 3 underlying causes of fibromyalgia that, again, some of you will be shocked at, some of you've heard before, but nobody's putting it all together. That's what I want to do for you. Why the current conventional strategies are not working. They just aren't. And I'm kind of speaking to the choir, I'm sure, because you've experienced that. They're just not working, and there's a reason. And there's a reason why we're seeing results that nobody else is seeing. We're going to go through like I said, the 3 strategies or advanced tips that I want to give you so you can start implementing right away. And then how a fibromyalgia patient, if you're suffering from fibromyalgia, how you can get your life back. And I've got a very special program, very special offer, and very amazing opportunity that I want to give to you, because if you're a fibromyalgia patient, you need to understand the key strategies, more importantly, the causes, have an approach that addresses and connects all the dots. And we'll go through that with you throughout this program here. So first and foremost, fibromyalgia is real. And I have to start there because I know that a lot of you have probably been told at some point that it's in your head, or that you're faking it, or maybe even by a doctor, right? This used to be a very well, kind of known thing in the doctor world, like amongst doctors, was, didn't like to deal with fibromyalgia patients because you felt like they were hypochondriacs, that they were just faking it, because they would have good days and then they would have bad days. And you didn't realize, how could something, if it was truly pain oriented from tissue in their body that's broken down, or it's causing pain, how could they have a great day and then have 4 bad days? Or how can they have 2 good days and then 3 bad days? This was the thing that plagued us. The other problem was, as you could see, there's no definitive test. I can't test a certain area of your body and say, yep, that's why you have fibromyalgia. I can't give you an image or a blood test that would indicate why you have fibromyalgia. There's nothing like that. It's all subjective. But it's real as real can be. It is as real as a broken arm. It is as real as a infection. I mean, I'm telling you that because if anybody's ever said it's not real, they're not right, and they're not correct. The pain is real, the condition is real, and then it leads to a lot of the things you see. The fatigue, that goes hand in hand. Chronic fatigue, no sleep, immunity issues, digestive complaints, weight gain, which comes from metabolism issues, chemical sensitivities, even pain putting on a shirt, hair, feeling your hair on your skin. I mean, when you get to advanced stages of fibromyalgia, I mean, little things hurt. And I'm telling you because it's real, and now we know very clearly why that's happening. And so I want to just take a minute to speak to the journey. And I come back to this because I know that dealing with now enough fibromyalgia patients, that the journey, and everybody's journey is different. And again, I can't speak to your journey, but I'm going to assume it's been a little bit like this. And that is that initially you started with a little bit of pain, and it didn't go away. And along with that pain was some fatigue. And then you start researching this, and you realize quickly that, this pain and fatigue, it's not going away. It's not just some short-term thing. And a week goes by, and 2 weeks goes by, and a month goes by, 2 months goes by, and you really start to research this. And then you may even start to take the over-the-counters. You take the Tylenol, the anti-inflammatories, and they don't work. And then maybe even you get the appointment with the doctor, and you go through their testing. Like I said before, the testing, because there's no definitive test, it is hard to gain a clear approach. What is the strategy? And if you don't know the strategy, now you're just left out in left field, meaning you go to these doctors over and over again, and nobody really knows what's going on. And so then you end up going to a specialist, and then you get more testing done, and then there's no answers. And so this is the thing, again, when I say my first 12 years of practice that I dealt with this. And I would tell patients, just stick with it. You do this, the same thing that all my other patients that were in pain that I would have them do, but they weren't getting results. And I wasn't able to really look at the mirror and say, there's something to this. Right now, the pain is getting worse. They're not sleeping. They don't want to work. And when they do go to work, they just want to come home and sleep. And if you look at it from the outside, you think, man, what is wrong? Just do it, right? And I'm sure you've had people just say, hey, just do it. You're okay one day, and then all of a sudden you're not okay. And so again, if this is you, this is a typical fibromyalgia course of the course of action for the condition. The people that suffer, then you end up, not wanting to do things, even gatherings and events, friends invite you to, and you end up again being isolated and you feel alone. But you have that one good day. And then when you have that one good day, you cram everything into that one day, knowing that, I'm going to get everything I need to get done. I've, gotten behind the last 3 weeks because I haven't had a good day. And then you have a good day, even knowing, you're going to cram everything in. And then that bad day, that good day, the next day is going to be a bad day and it's going to be painful. And you're going to actually, you're going to end up, unfortunately, you're going to end up all the things you crammed in, you're going to have to pay for it, and so I see this all too often, is that one good day, those good days then become few and far between. As the symptoms progress, flare-ups turn from hours into days, again, more isolated, more alone. Even your family members, right? Even family members start to think to themselves, well, why you had this pain before and now you have it, but now it seems to be worse. You don't have any good days. You're trying to get out of work. You're calling into work more often. And even your family members, your close to your spouse, kids, other circle of influence, even they're doubting. You're feeling their doubts, right? Your friend's not inviting you to things anymore because they know they're going to hear an excuse and they think they're just excuses. But for you, it's real. Like, you want to be invited to things, right? And one of the things I've heard very frequently is like, it's not that you don't want to be invited to things, but when you are invited to things, you feel guilty because you're not going to be able to go. Is the only way you're going to be able to go is if you have that one good day, as if that birthday party or that anniversary party or that event is on the one good day. But the chances of that being a good day is, slim to none. And so then this isolation continues. You feel alone. Your friends only end up becoming, or at least maybe even online, right? Support groups online is the people that are going through the pain. And it's a very, very lonely course of a condition. It's the condition's course, the path that it takes. And I tell you all this because I have started to understand this condition, the extent of the suffering, and understanding now where it comes from, like understanding the science behind it, and that it's a brain and nervous system condition, and the stress hormones are driving this thing. And there's more to the story than just the tissue. I can't just go, hey, change this tissue. Let's just address this tissue. Let's change and massage this tissue. I mean, even to the point where I know a lot of you, then you go to the doctors, right? And you see, and that's, the path. You go to doctors. They give you a diagnosis. And even if they got it right, you got fibromyalgia. Now it's just drugs, right? And if that doesn't work, then as a specialist. And before, typically, and I have this list out here, General MD, you get the pain meds. You go to a neurologist. You get imaging done, right? The imaging shows nothing, meaning everything's okay. There's nothing that would indicate, or I'm going to show you in a minute where you get told, yep, it's the herniated disc, it's the protrusion, it's the degeneration you have in your spine, degenerative joint disease, it's stenosis. These things that they will put a label to, but that is not the cause. And I'll show you in a minute. I'll show you exactly why. Then you end up going to maybe an endocrinologist or another specialist. Usually then that becomes because it's a hormone issue. And we know that, especially if you're a female hormones and their relationship to pain. Again, more testing, more imaging. Then you may even go to, to the more natural route. And before I go there, here was the other thing, is that a lot of you you've gone to doctors, and one of the things that in the kind of the conventional medical route, fibromyalgia is known as the invisible disease, or the invisible condition. And the reason why it's called the invisible condition is because there's no outward. If I put 10 people in a row, and I said, and you had to pick which one has fibromyalgia, you would never be able to do it. Right? You would never, because there's nothing outwardly. So this is also leads to confusion. And as a fibromyalgia sufferer, people look at you and like, well, there's nothing different. You don't look any different. There's nothing from when you started suffering or weren't suffering to now. You don't look any different, but you feel this pain all over, right? One day it's one area, another day it's another area. And you don't know which day is going to flare up and which day is going to be worse. And you just pray that, today's not as bad day, and then you get down the path, maybe you're a year in or 6 months in, or maybe even 2 years in. And you just wish you could go back to the first month when you thought it was so bad, but it really wasn't, because now you're looking at it like, man, if I could just go back to the days that it was like a 2 out of 10 or a 4 out of 10, because now you're sitting at a 7 to 9 out of 10 in terms of pain, and you don't know what to do. And you don't even know when it's going to strike. And again, flare-ups are nasty. And then it leads to the fibro fog, which is this depression that comes up. You start to forget things. You're worried about even completing projects at work. You don't know where you left your keys or where you parked. These are real conditions. These are real symptoms of this condition. These are real physiological changes, meaning it's biology. It's not just in your head. This is the biological changes that have occurred in your nervous system are real. And that's where you get the fibro fog, and then the depression and anxiety, anxiety that, man, is this what life looks like, right? And that leads to even more problems, more stress, more pain. That's what I want to help you get out of. And I have to stop for a minute and say, there is hope. And that's why I'm here. And I hopefully that's why you're here, because I've seen this all so often, that people have been down the path, and they've been to everybody, and everybody seems to sound the same, even to this, right? And I kind of go off on this. I'm sorry, like I just end up, I've seen this so often. I get so fired up about this and passionate, because I see the same thing over and over and over again. Even to this, where maybe you have a friend that realizes you're in pain, they want to help, and their heart is right, and they're like really trying to reach out. And they tell you, what, try the natural route, try this diet, right? Or try these essential oils. I think these will help you, because they helped, another person, Mary got help with these, or this specific diet, or add these 2 supplements, or maybe this type of manual care, a massage, a chiropractor, a physical therapist. And maybe you try them, but, to know, it maybe helps a little bit, but it doesn't truly get to it. I'm telling you. And that's when I just have to tell you, I'm not here to throw a couple of essential oils at you, or, a new diet. Diet's important. And I'll be the first to tell you that, why? Because inflammation. If you have inflammation, it sensitizes you to pain. That means that things that cause one person pain won't cause another person's pain, because the inflammation, if you have high inflammation, you have higher sensitivity to pain. And so we have to figure out how to get, in fact, research in 2018 showed that that those that have fibromyalgia, like a pinch or when they inflicted some sort of pressure or pain, to the average person, it didn't cause pain, but to the fibromyalgia, their body, their skin, their tissue was sensitive to it. Well, inflammation increases your sensitivity. So there's no doubt that diet and nutrition is important, but that isn't the whole solution. It can't be. And so I say that because you may have been told, go to the natural route. Do these, supplements, do this diet, do this natural doctor, and it hasn't worked. And there's a reason why it hasn't worked, because that's not getting to the source or the cause of the problem. And so that's where you see, even here, you got counselor, you got psychologist, you got stronger meds, right? Even to the degree where you say, hey, I need to go to a counselor, right? A counselor, somebody that's gonna help your mind. And while those are good and valuable, the depression actually stems from having so much pain. And so I'm telling you this because those things are all great, but nobody's getting to the cause. And that's where I want to, turn my attention to here. And one of the reasons I told you I wanted to address that the problem in conventional care for fibromyalgia is that nobody's getting to the cause, and they're not addressing the problem. And so I can remember, I've had many testimonies, but one of the testimonies that comes to mind, Mandy was a middle-aged, not even middle-aged, younger. She's mid-30s. She had 4 kids. Her oldest kid was 8 years old, and she was ended up working, and then she was a stay-at-home mom. But the fibromyalgia affected her so badly, and this just breaks my heart, right? Because I even think about it, that her 8-year-old, so she would, do everything she can, but by 10 a.m. she's already out, like no energy left, and so then she'd lay on the couch all day long. All the way to the point where her 8-year-old was having to actually make lunch and the beginning, like snack time before her husband got home, taking care of the 6, the 4, and the 2-year-old. And so I think about, and it's not that she didn't want to help. It's just that's where she was. All she could do was lay down and try to rest because she was so fatigued and she was so much in pain. And it just continued to get worse. And she tried all the natural stuff and tried the diets and went gluten-free. And so I say that to say this is that the conventional care has not worked out. And that's why I want to say there is hope. There is hope. Because if you understand the causes and you address the causes, the tide begins to change. And that's, for me, I'm here because, one, I look back on what I haven't done for fiber patients, but now hearing this, training with some of the best specialists in the world, and pulling these pieces together, I've developed one of the best programs I've seen offline or online anywhere that addresses the causes of fibromyalgia and actually helps somebody come out of that. And so again, and just real briefly, the problem with conventional care is that they look at the pain as a problem. So I want to just imagine, and this is what it's like. It's like if you went to your check engine light comes on in your car, you see that in your dashboard, you go to the mechanic and you pull in and they say, I got exactly the solution for that. And they go get a piece of tape and they come out and they put a piece of tape over that check engine light. And they say, there you go, you're all on your way. They didn't look at the hood. They didn't hook up the computer to see what was going on. They just put the piece of tape over it, and all they did was mask the symptom. And that's a metaphor to point out that's really what's going on right now in our conventional care for fibromyalgia, is that they're covering up symptoms, just trying to treat the pain or the symptoms, the fatigue, the pain, the restless leg syndrome, the headaches, even the digestive problems that come along with it. They're just putting a piece of tape over the symptom, when we have to get to the underlying cause. And that's what I'm all about. Everything that I've created now on this end of things, on this side of things, is that it's about getting the underlying cause. And so just real briefly about me, I haven't even really got into myself. I go off, but I come from a big family. I'm fifth of 8 kids. My 2 oldest brothers are physicians. I was able to learn from them, and but also do things a little bit different than they do. My mom's been a nurse for over 35 years. My sister's an occupational therapist. So I grew up in the medical world like that. My thing is all about health and well-being. That's kind of how I was raised. There's my family. I've got myself. I've got 4 beautiful girls, my wife, and then 3 girls. I've got 7, a 5-year-old, and a 1-year-old. And we like to have fun. And there we are, dressed up for Halloween and running a race that my wife loves to run. I've also, I've also been able to speak on a lot of stages across the world. I've spoken to the World Health Organization with committees there. I spoke at some of the biggest conferences on not only solutions for chronic pain, but particularly for fibromyalgia, and how we can overcome that by, again, addressing the causes. My good friend there, Dr. Josh Axe, him and I do a lot of things together. And so studying and understanding this has afforded me a lot of things. But I'm most concerned about getting, real patients, real help. I've also been one of the team doctors for United States wrestling team. I've been to a few world championships. I've been to, was at the London in Olympics in 2012 as a team doctor. There I am at the World Health Organization. So, and that's all great. And just a little bit about me, kind of like why should I trust you? And you shouldn't trust me unless, this resonates with you. I will tell you, I will continue to move this message forward as I even looking into the next 12 months. My speaking schedule is full. I'm excited about sharing this information because I know it helps more people. And so I take this, I go back to this though right here, and that is, I will live with the fact that for the first 12 years of my practice, I did not do my patients the justice when it comes to fibromyalgia. And I've dedicated now to making sure I turn that around. And so there's confusion, right? Confusion behind fibromyalgia pain. You see that it's like a Chinese, I think they call it a Chinese toy, a Chinese finger toy is what it is. And it's like when you put your finger in this, the best analogy I can give is when you put your finger in that and then you try to pull your fingers out, the harder you pull, the tighter it gets. You can't get your fingers out. And that's a lot like fibromyalgia. The more we just treat the pain, the worse it is to actually overcome the problem. And the research is now showing us that, and that's where I'm here to tell you this. So look at this. Look at this study. If you didn't see any other studies or hear anything else, I want you to know that your problem with fibromyalgia is not a physical problem. I'll say that again. It's not a physical problem. It's not your physical tissue. It's not your low back because you've got a herniated disc or a herniation or protrusion. It's not certain muscles that are tight. Those are symptoms. That's where the pain is. That's not where the problem is. This actually was a study from 2015, and it showed that most fibromyalgia sufferers have a physical abnormality. That is true. You may have gone to the doctor, had an MRI, had an X-ray that said you have a disc degeneration or stenosis or a bulge or herniation. And then they led you to believe that that's the reason why you're in all this pain. That's not true. That's not true. This study was 2015, and it showed none of these patients, so you could see the age there, 20, 30, 40, 50. Let's just take a 40-year-old. Like go to the 40-year-old column. you see the amount of people that have disc degeneration. There was 3,300 people in the study, and 68% of the 40-year-olds had disc degeneration. But here's the kicker. All the people in the study had no symptoms, zero, no pain, right? Go down to, stay at 40, disc bulges, 50%. 50% of the 40-year-olds had bulges in their disc, according to their MRI, but had no pain. So the reason I bring this up, guys, is because you may have been told that you have a condition in your spine is the reason why you're having the pain in the neck or the pain in the low back or headaches or some sort of, ailment, right? But that's not true, because just as many people that have pain with these conditions have no pain with these conditions. And so this is the work that I'm spending so much time on, I'm so passionate about, is to realize first, you don't have a physical problem in your physical structure, right? It's a piece of the pie. We have to actually address it. We got to get core work done and make sure your muscles are moving. Those are all important, and I'll show you and explain that in a minute. But you have to realize that you don't have the pain because you have some sort of disc damage or degeneration, regardless of what doctor told you. I know this may sound so crazy to you. That's why we're here. Nobody else talks about this. Well, I do, and that's why I'm excited about giving you this plan, this program, this strategy, because you first have to understand it's not a physical component, it's in your nervous system. And that's where there's 3 causes, 2 of them which are addressed often, but you cannot solve this puzzle by just addressing one, right? So structure does play a part, right? We got to have pliable muscles. We got to have you be able to move. We got to have good structure. We got to have inflammation that's down. We can't have high amounts of inflammation. That is true. But I'm going to tell you right now, that third and final piece, which is why I put it the biggest there, your nervous system, a sensitized nervous system. This has been the game changer in terms of fibromyalgia. This is where we go with this, and this is what I want to show you. So research shows after 3 months, if you've had your fibromyalgia pain for more than 3 months, the pain is not just a tissue issue. It's not a component of just the tissue. We can't just go to the tissue. This was proven in research in 2001 where they had pain sufferers that had pain in their arm so bad, they had them amputated. They had to get their arm amputated. Well, they got their arm amputated, and 60% of those sufferers still had pain in their arm. Think about that. They got the pain amputated. It's no longer part of their body. It's not attached to them anymore, but they have pain in their arm. Why? Because the neurological pathways is where the pain came from. It was a brain and nervous system condition, and that's what we're seeing with fibromyalgia. It's a nervous system condition. It is something that is wired in the nervous system, that certain things occur throughout your life and short-term, long-term, and all the way throughout. And it leads to this nervous system component. So it's like, what in this case, do you think we should go get their arm back out of, wherever it went, reattach it, and then address the tissue? No, that's not going to work. We've gotten rid of the tissue. So this is where, guys, I want to show you. So a healthy brain, you see there on the left. And I'm going to give you an example and I'll show you a testimony of this. A healthy brain, you see there on the left, there's an area of the brain that's responsible for lowering pain. And then there's a brain with chronic fibromyalgia, where this area that lowers the brain when it's being influenced and it's firing, it will actually lower pain. So what's the objective? What's the goal then? We have to get the area that can lower your pain increased and the area that's causing pain decreased. And so this is a fMRI. I'm going to show you an fMRI. An fMRI, by the way, is a functional MRI. It's a more expensive test than a regular MRI, and it's a part of the brain. And here's what it allows us to see. It allows us to see, based on blood flow, what areas are being fired up, meaning what areas are working, what areas are being stimulated the most. And so this is a normal MRI, fMRI. That's normal. So you see the back has a higher, more blood flow, meaning there's more stimulation in the back. The front has some, but it's kind of equal, a little bit more to the back. Let me give you this example. 17-year-old with chronic fibromyalgia pain. Look at the front part of their brain, right? And I'll show you back there. Look at the front part of their brain. So normal, if I go back to normal, the front should not be as big of an area that has more blood flow. This 17-year-old, and he had tried everything. So he comes to us, and we're able to walk him through, give him the strategies, show him that it wasn't just in his back. It wasn't from a herniated disc that he was told he had. It wasn't from spinal stenosis. that, yeah, those were maybe facts, but those weren't what was causing the pain, because just as many people that have those things don't have any pain. So why is the pain there for him? And it had to do with his nervous system. So look now, look at this. After 10 weeks of implementing our strategies, his pain was gone. His pain was gone. If you look there, again, look at the big area in the front, right? We were able to lower that size, and then look at the small area in the back. You see how we increased the area in the back, we isolated it to one area, and then the front area got down a little bit. We still had some ways to go, even after 10 weeks. But his pain was gone. Astonished, amazing. Parents, crazy. He had so bad digestive problems. They had done exploratory surgeries in his stomach. That's how bad they think it was there. But again, and I see it no different, and you as a fibromyalgia sufferer. And so this is all the strategies that we put in place. I've got amazing program. I've got amazing strategies that I want to help you with, because you will be no different. So I want to cover the 3 advanced tips that you can start right away. Number 1, you're going to start an Epsom salt bath. Why Epsom salt? Epsom salt increases, one of the ththings you have to understand is magnesium it takes the muscles and it calms them. Well, when you have Epsom salt, your body, a nutrient, it gets the nutrient, it actually absorbs magnesium in, and it calms the muscles. So that's where you're going to start Epsom salt bath. Also, here's another tip. Throw in 10 drops of lavender essential oil, and you're going to actually feel another calming. Lavender essential oil is very good at calming, but it's the magnesium that is it's the kicker. Do this right before bed. Epsom salt bath, warm bath, 10 drops of lavender essential oil, 1 cup Epsom salt, and do that on a regular basis. You're going to start to see your body calm and get some rest. Number 2, you got to sleep. We got to sleep. If you don't sleep, you don't heal. And so how do you get better sleep? Well, and I've got more than a dozen strategies in my program, but here's 2 of them. 2 of them is, this is how you start to turn the tides on the pain. You start in the right direction of calming that nervous system, and you have to actually get your sleep. Lower your bedroom temperature. So research shows that if we can lower your body temperature by 1 degree, you will get 55% better rest. So lower your bedroom temperature to 65 to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. That will actually improve your sleep. And then black out your room. Another piece of research showed that they put light underneath a knee, someone's knee, a group of people, their knee, and they were asleep only from a little light under their knee. So we see that being blacked out, if you can black out your room and get it cooler, you're going to get better sleep. If you get better sleep, and here's why. Chronic pain, there's a study out of Israel 2014 showed that chronic pain sufferers, that it wasn't that they didn't get sleep because they were in pain. They were in pain because they didn't get adequate sleep. There's a difference. Sleep reduces pain. And then number 3, and this may sound interesting, almost probably like too hard to believe, is that playtime. I want you to schedule something you like to do every other day. Every other day. And you would say, I can't do that. But there is things you could do. Watch a funny movie, right? Or watch a movie that you like. Make sure it's not too stressful or like a horror. I don't recommend that. Something funny, a drama, something that gets you in a good state of mind. Going out to coffee with a friend, reading a good book, gardening, doing the things that you want to do. Plan. It could be 10 minutes. Or it could be 2 hours. Every other day, we got to get your mind off this. And again, it shows the nervous system changes when you do those things. So start those things, Epsom salt bath, better sleep, and then schedule your playtime. Most important component, as you saw, that 17-year-old that I went over, the fMRI scans, we were able to reboot the nervous system pathways. And that's what we have to do with you. We have to reboot. How do we do this? Very strategic. There's a list of things. The top 3, relief writing, our brain balance protocol, and 3-minute daily reprogramming, right? And I don't have all the hours to get into it, but I needed to tell you that this is how we start to change your nervous system, just like we did with that 17-year-old. Another one is Roxy. Look at Roxy. 17 years ago, she said, I was injured in an accident at work that left me in constant pain. Within 1 year of the injury, I was diagnosed with having fibromyalgia. I went to every kind of doctor you can imagine, dozens of tests run, and tried all sorts of medications and treatments. Nothing seemed to work. I was told by a surgeon that I had the back of a 100-year-old woman and should not even be alive. He also told me there was nothing that could be done to help me. I'd given up getting any help with my pain. A close friend of mine recommended Dr. Dan's fibromyalgia pain program. Needless to say, I was very skeptical after so many disappointments in the past. But after beginning the program, the pain started to disappear. Now I'm pain-free, and I will never be able to thank you guys enough for giving my life back. And so I see you the same as I would see Roxy. There's no difference with you as in Roxy. especially if you're skeptic, like I'm a natural born skeptic. Like I'm skeptic of everything. And I hope you are, in a sense, meaning you challenge, you question things. And up until this point, I would argue you should question a lot of things, because there's been a lot of probably things that have been promising and not delivered. But for me, that's why I hope you've seen, like, it's a nervous system component. When we change your fMRI, and I'm not saying you're going to run off and get an fMRI. You don't need the fMRI. We already know through the data that we've done and the results that we've gotten where the problems lie when it comes to fibromyalgia. There's 3 causes, and we have to address all of them together. So that's why I want to personally invite you to join me for this 30-day program. It's a program that I have put together. I've just spent so much time, not only in the research, but mostly now on how to make it step by step, where I can hold your hand and give you the results that you need and walk you through the strategies, so that you're not having to worry about, how can I do this? I'm not going to be able to do this. No, it is able to do. I don't care what lifestyle you're in right now. You can do this. Any budget you have, you can do this. And we show you how. So this is the roadmap, the strategies, and the entire guide for conquering fibromyalgia pain without needing a doctor, without having to have another doctor visit, without more drugs. It's all online. I've teamed up with some of the best industry leaders. I've been certified and gone to and learned from some of the best in the world at helping this. And I put it together in video, audio, and written format online. You have lifetime access to it. You go through it at your own pace, right? We say 30 days. And that's where the prime process is 4 weeks, but it's easy to understand and implement. Some of you may take 60 days, you may take 45 days, you may take longer or shorter, but the bottom line is it's there for you. You have lifetime access, and it's going to give you everything you need. And here's the kicker. We've removed the risk. What I mean by that is we have a 60-day money-back guarantee. Money-back guarantee, meaning one of 2 things is going to happen. You're either going to get the relief that all our other patients have gotten, right? I don't even know of anybody recently that's got a refund. I don't think we've even given one yet, right? As I don't get the results that they need. But if you didn't, if this wasn't one of the best programs you've ever been through and the best strategies to give you the relief, we give your money back. No questions asked. I don't want you into something that you thought this was, again, another empty promise. That's not what this is. This is something that we are, our reputation is on the line here, is how we get results. And I know we do. And so that's where we want to remove the risk for you, 100% risk-free. And you're going to see an amazing price we have for you. And so this program is customized, fast track for one reason, to give you more peace, joy, and live what I believe God gave us all the right to live pain-free. I don't believe God has given you this wrath of pain, right, so that you have to live with it for the rest of your life. No, it's just not true. And biblically, for me, I see it as a Christian. I know that, you know what, I don't believe God just does that to people to give them pain. No. And on the other end, I've seen people that have thought that, and we've been able to get them out of pain. They're like, well, there must have been something I wasn't doing. And it turns out they just didn't know. And what you don't know can hurt you. So I just want to spend the next couple minutes here just going through the 4 weeks. So week 1, that's everything in the program. And I've got some, wherever you see the green, that is the nervous system component. And that's where every week we have a nervous system component. And then we also have to address the inflammation and the other components. But week 1, we have addressing the root cause of fibromyalgia for long-lasting relief. Relief writing is a key to reprogramming the pain pathways for relief. And you're going to be astonished at how simple, yet how unbelievably helpful this relief writing is going to be for you. We show you exactly how to do it. It's very simple, and we'll walk you through that. Sleep like a baby, the top 15 ways to sleep like a baby. Pain conquering nutrition. So I've teamed up with my a good friend, Dr. Josh Axe, who probably some of you know, industry leader. Guy's been on pretty much every platform in the industry in healthcare today. We go through, and I have him along to go through the best foods, the foods to avoid and the foods to implement in terms of conquering chronic pain. And it's not about being perfect. It's not about saying, hey, you got to have this diet specifically. No, there's room for error. It's not about perfect. So, simple things like just change breakfast. I go through my pain conquering smoothies. If you just change breakfast, you're going to start to decrease the inflammation. And then you got some movements we start there with you. Week 2, reprogramming the nervous system, 3-minute nervous system rewiring. This is unbelievable for changing fMRI, which gives you relief. Unbelievable. 3 minutes a day. Who can't do 3 minutes a day of reprogramming this nervous system, rewiring rather? How to hit control delete on the nervous system. This is another way to reboot the nervous system. We go through that strategy. Pain conquering foods. We do go through some supplements, some herbs specific to fibromyalgia pain. And then we go through what is causing some fibromyalgia fire, so increasing the inflammation. And then week 3, we go through a customized program. Everybody that suffers from fibromyalgia has a little bit different course. And their course is directed on, or dictated rather, on what their pain type is. So we go through a pain type assessment and quiz so we can give you the best recommendations. We do a kitchen makeover, we do some affirmations. I do a video to your loved ones explaining your pain is real, and you're going through some things to help change that so they can better understand it. If you want to send that on, you can. Week 4 is the advanced strategies. This is where we go to advanced intervention, relief without drugs and surgery. 3-day collagen rebuild to rebuild the gut so that it decreases inflammation. Very simple and actually very tasty and fun to do. Special recommendations for your specific pain type. Play, we go through recommended play schedule. And so that's 4 weeks, right? And it may take you 5 weeks or 6 weeks, but we're in it together. You're going to get access to the private Facebook group, direct access to me, my team, to have encouraging and then support each other through this, what people are going through and how to address it. Instant online access. It's lifetime. You go at your own pace, and everything is online therefore. So the question that you're maybe, definitely probably wondering, what is my investment? Well, if you go to my website right away, you will see this program is $597 and includes everything. It's got, and I'm going to go through some of the bonuses here in a minute, but $597, you will not pay that today. I'm going to give you a very special offer right now, and you can see, I'm going to show you how to get there. You can maybe even see that pop up there, a way to get in there. Easy. Either you want to split into 2 payments or 1 payment, but you're not paying $597. You see there, this has gone down extremely. It's a one-time offer because you're on this webinar, because you're going through this advanced training with me. I want to make sure you get this in your hands and can start to change your fMRI, start to change your brain and your nervous system to wire it for relief and not for pain. And so by signing up today, I also want to really stack the deck for you. I want to give you some special bonuses, and I always want to over deliver. Bonus number 1 is a $99 bonus, smoothie recipes, right? We said one of the things you could do is just change your breakfast. We got a lot of pain smoothies that help decrease inflammation. When you decrease the inflammation, it decreases cytokines and catecholamines. Those are big words that simply mean this: it makes you less sensitive to pain, right? You know that even some of you put on a shirt and you get pain, or your hair touches you, or the wind blows and you get pain. We need to decrease that sensitivity, and decreasing the inflammation will do that. So I go through my fibro-conquering smoothies with good fats and antioxidants and herbs and collagen protein. And so I show you exactly how to do that. I bring you into my own kitchen, which, speaking of, number 2, we go through a mini course. I've got a Preparing Fibro Foods mini course, smoothie recipes. We got 20 pain-conquering food guides. We got snack recipes, kitchen makeover made easy. I bring you with my beautiful, lovely wife, Amanda. We bring you in our kitchen, show you exactly what we do and how to, again, have pain-conquering foods and good meals that taste good. Bonus number 3, audios. So I'm giving you the audios in this course, so not just the videos. So if you want to listen to it, maybe you're driving your kids to school, you're on a trip, maybe you're gardening in the back, you're cooking food. You don't have to watch it. You can actually listen to it and consume it in multiple ways, so you don't have to just be glued to a computer or TV. And then number 4, this is our fan favorite, our most favorite and most popular bonus. That is, this is a $500, $497 value, our custom meal plans for 30 days, our shopping list, and our recipe guides, how to eat well and make it taste good as well to lower that inflammation. And so that's the program. Again, we remove the risk for you, 60-day money-back guarantee, ironclad risk-free. So for us, again, we pride ourselves on results. And so if this wasn't the best program for you to reduce your pain in such a small fee, like especially you jump in tonight, you're going to get that at such a small fee. In terms of like, and when I say small fee, like compared to what most people pay for pain, whether it be medications, whether it be doctor's visits, whether it be imaging, whether it be tests, like this is such a small fee. And at the same time, one of 2 things: either you're going to get results, and it's going to be one of the best investments you ever made, which I like, if you're like a lot of our other patients that happens to, or a lot of our clients. Or number 2, you say, you know what, wasn't for me, and you get your money back. So I want to make sure you are very comfortable with the fact that we remove the risk for you, and I want to make sure you know that. So there you have it. I mean, over $1,400 worth of the program and all the bonuses. You could break it into payments, 2 simple payments. You could pay one full price, which covered, again, 1 full price for less than a doctor's visit, 1 doctor's visit in most cases. And so we just don't want any any of you that wanted to not be able to get it. And that's where we've put it in such a low price for you, especially on this masterclass. So there you have it. You can see there's a website, painfreedomnow.com, where you can just click where you probably already see. I see some of you have already jumped into the program. And so I'm excited that you guys are already jumping in. I've saw already a couple popped up, like I have a pop-up that allows me to see. And so I'm excited for you guys. You guys are going to get amazing results with this program. It's not because I'm great. It's because I failed a lot. I failed my fiber patients a lot early on, and I owe it to you. And now, having dug deep and spending and traveling the world with some of the best specialists, understanding from them, learning from them, and my own trial and error, we know it works. And so you will get, once you put your info in, you're going to get immediate access, right? And then you're going to see it. You're going to get into your membership site, and you have, again, go at your own pace. And so Stacy, who took the program, she said, before this program, my life consists of daily headaches and low back pain, lots of muscle relaxers, anti-inflammatory medications, and prescription pain meds. Due to my inability to sit for more than 20 minutes at a time, I couldn't go to dinner and a movie with my husband. When I ended up in the emergency room, that was the final straw for me. The back surgeon told me I needed a lumbar fusion, but he didn't want to operate on a 30-year-old. So his advice was to go about your daily routine until you can't walk anymore, and then he'll proceed with surgery. It was at this time I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, but I wasn't going to accept this as my only option, so I know I had to do something. One of my friends told me about this program a while back, but I did not pursue it because I didn't believe the strategies could help someone as bad as me. After just 6 weeks with the program, my back feels better than it has in years. I am a nurse, and I'm no longer concerned about losing my job because of performance issues. I feel like I have more control of my life. I don't suffer from daily headaches, and I'm able to drive to work without my right leg going numb. I have been able to go to movies with my husband, and I can live in an active lifestyle again. I can't say enough about the impact this program is having on my life. My only regret is not starting sooner. And so we hear that so often. I wish I would have known about this earlier. I mean, literally every single week, I wish I would have known about this earlier. And I say the same thing. I wish I would have known about this earlier, because the first 12 years of my clinical practice life, I would have been able to help a lot more people. I was able to help some, but not address it altogether. And so now, knowing what I know and knowing what we've done, and then making it compliant. And when I say compliant, making it so you can do it. We can't make it so extreme that you got to eat this way, you got to have this, and you got to do this. No, it's like there's so much room for error. It's not about perfection, and that's the beauty of dealing with the nervous system. The components of the nervous system, when you start to address those, you're going to find out that, you know what, I had one gal that she was on 12 supplements. She was so scared to eat anything that she almost scared herself into, if I have this, it's going to flare it up. And then all of a sudden we start to work with her, and she's like, I'm eating things that I never thought I would have, again, that I like, things that I like to eat. I can now eat on this program that I wasn't able to, and the supplements, I don't need all those supplements, every single one, right? This isn't about, hey, you have to have, these 19 supplements and these tests. And no, that's the beauty and the kicker of this work, is that when you deal with the nervous system, like we're going to show you, you start to change. And all those other things are important, right? The inflammation and dealing with the structure. Dr. Chelsea Axe, who's Dr. Josh Axe's wife, she joins me on 2 of the foundational trainings, week 2 and week 4. And we go through and show you some movements that you can do that are so simple. And so that's important. It's going to help your structure and build your core. And you're going to go at your own pace, because some of you are like, yeah, I can't even walk around the block or go to the mailbox without having a flare up. And that's what we understand. And so we show you, we broke it down. If you're here, do this. Here, do this. And so eventually we're going to, you're going to work your way up, and you're going to get great results with this, and all the bonuses you're going to get and you're going to love. And so we're so excited for you. Jump in. Again, I'm excited for your results. That's the number one reason why you're here. So thank you for getting this far with me. I'm going to take a few questions here in a second. We actually had some people that had submitted some questions prior to getting on that we had emailed out. And it says, we will be sending this says we are sending a gift. So my team is going to send you the gift. You made it this far. We know exactly who've made it down this far. So your flare-up guide, that's $39. We're going to send you that for free, and then you'll get your guide to eating out with fibromyalgia. We'll send you that too. So be looking in your inbox for that. And so a couple questions, and I see a couple of you jump in there. So make sure you jump on this. Like this price will not be there forever. This price will end up going up as we get more and more people. We've got a tour that we're touring around the world, and more people getting access to this information. And so eventually we'll go up and the bonuses may go away. So I want to make sure you get in. So those of you that have already jumped in, welcome. See you on the inside. My team will be in touch with you via email to make sure you get everything you want and need, and how to get in, and the technical part if you have any issues with getting in and downloading things or being able to view things. So we'll make sure we follow up with you on that. So check your email. And so let me just take a couple of these questions. Marilyn said this: I have fibromyalgia and my doctors say it is incurable. Can this program help me? Well, Marilyn, I hope you've stuck with me. If you're here, you stuck this far, because you've obviously heard, yeah, I mean, this is all about fibromyalgia, and most doctors are going to say it's incurable. And that's where I disagree in a sense that you can get the relief that you need. First off, fibromyalgia is not a diagnosable condition in terms of there's tissue that could, there's not a blood test you could take and say, yep, you got fibromyalgia. It's all subjective. So if subjective, the pain goes away, then the fibromyalgia goes away. That's where people that are incurable. But if you don't address the causes, this is why most fibromyalgia patients, it never goes away, because they're never taught to address the causes. And so it stays there. So subjectively, meaning they can say, I have pain. And if you say I have pain and you have fibromyalgia, then you always have fibromyalgia. But if you don't have pain, because it's the only thing we can diagnose you with, fibromyalgia is your pain, then you don't have fibromyalgia. So you see what I mean? So that's why they say it's incurable. So yes, and it all has to do with your nervous system and rewiring those pathways, and then supporting it with structure, supporting it with movement, supporting it with good things that are going to lower your inflammation. So Steve says this: I've had 3 back surgeries and currently have metal pins and screws in my neck and my low back, but I'm still in constant daily pain. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia after my surgeries. Can your program or strategy still help me, or am I too far gone? Steve, this reminds me of a patient of mine who had gone through the program. His name was Cliff. He was literally fused from C7, which is at the base of the neck, all the way down to L5. And he fought tooth and nail, meaning he did not want to do any of this. Very skeptical. His wife, Ellie, made him actually implement these strategies and implement this program. And he got results. Even amongst his skepticism, saying, I don't think I'm going to get results. I don't want to do this. She made him because she was going through it. And sure enough, he got results. And so I say that because, yes, the answer is yes. You're not too far gone. Even with back surgeries, we've seen people come out of this because you still have a nervous system that's working. If you can hear me and talk and breathe and your legs work right now, that means you've got a shot. And so the answer is yes. Eva says this: if I start the program and implement the plan you lay out, will I need to stop my other interventions or medications I'm currently doing or taking for my pain? Eva, that is a great question. And the answer is no. This program is designed to come along anything you're already doing and to be accessory to that, right? It's going to help with that. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to, go off medications. If that comes down the road because you've got relief and results, amen, that's awesome. And that's what a lot of patients do. But no, you will not stop anything as you start this. You can do everything you're doing and just do this along with it. So again, great question. And then I did see someone had a question earlier that I saw had plugged it in saying, hey, I'm going to be gone right when towards the end there, they said I'm going to be gone for a couple weeks. Would you recommend that I get this program now, or I wait until I get back? And here's my thing is, I think that, if you're going on vacation or say, hey, I can't implement this for another few weeks or maybe next month, I would still say jump in, because you have lifetime access. You're going to get access to all of the bonuses and for the special, webinar special for the price. And then you also get the guaranteed 6-day money back guarantee. And so jump in now. You can always, if you're going on vacation, maybe be able to look at it over the next couple of weeks, but not start anything till you get back. That's fine. But just know you have instant access and you have lifetime access. So I would jump in now just so you make sure you get the bonuses. I'm a big guy on like, hey, if I can get a special on something and not have to pay full price, I'm all for that. And so that's why we offer it, and that's why we want to reward you that are here. But if you just go to our main website, you'll see it's the $597. And so I want to make sure you get the very one-time offer there, the special deal. So with that, I again, we appreciate you guys' time and effort and energy. As I said at the beginning, I'm glad you're here. I hope you just, again, start to see what's possible. You're not alone. You're not alone. You may feel alone. You may feel isolated. But I'm here to tell you, there's hope. There is hope and there's help. I've seen the people that have been the worst up against the wall and literally live in a prison in their own body. And I know that a lot of you, a lot of crying, a lot of, praying to God, saying, "Hey, will you help me?" Just feeling like you're jailed, like someone's shackled you in your own body, you're a prisoner. And I've seen them come out and through the process walk out of it. And so I see the same for you. And I want to give you that hope that there is hope. And I don't say that as false hope or a good motto or just a good tagline to say, "Oh, just trust me." No, believe in your body, because the greatest doctor is on the inside. Even though you're in a lot of pain, there is hope. And I've seen it, and I've seen it. And I expect the same for you. So take advantage of the offer, and then we'll see you on the inside of the program. Be paying attention to your email the next couple of days, as we'll be following up with you and making sure you get everything you need. So God bless you guys. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next time.